refresher for those of you that have been here this week, and a little bit of drills, and I'm gonna add a couple more small details for you, okay? That can make all the difference. Coming in, Mike. All right, so for our new students, a back control is when someone has their hooks, their 2 feet right in here. They're not gonna cross their feet like this because I can bring my leg over and I can break his ankles like this, okay? So be very careful about crossing your legs. Or they might even force you to cross your legs and break your ankle like that, okay? So just be mindful of that. He's going to have what we call a seat belt with one arm over my shoulder, one arm under my armpit, okay? For this, it's good control. It keeps me tight. It makes it hard for me to get away or rotate to face him, okay? Same thing with the legs, all right? So from here, I only really have to worry about one arm at this point, the one that's going over my shoulder, all right? Because this is the one that's gonna choke me. He can't really choke me with this hand, all right? So from the initial moment that anyone brings an arm over your shoulder, you need to immediately secure this arm, all right? So what I like to do is to bring one hand kind of holding down the forearm, and the other one I'm gonna make a C-grip right on the wrist, okay? From here, I wanna pull it down as much as I can, pull and push it down here, okay? That buys me a little time. It's not gonna save you for very long. We start talking like you fell off a cliff and you're hanging by a vine. Yeah, that's pretty much what this is, all right? You're not gonna be able to climb back up just doing this. You have to do something to get out of here, okay? This is just buying you some precious seconds, all right? So I don't want Jorge to take me to the side over here, because that's his strong side. And the reason being is the mechanics of this is George wants his head on one side and his choking arm on the other side, okay? So if we fell to the strong side, it's very difficult for me to get his head on the other side of my head, and it's very difficult for me to move this choking arm out of the way. So I want to take him to his weak side as much as possible, as much as I can, okay? There are ways out from here, but they're not very reliable, all right? Not that this one's that reliable either, because if someone got to this position, you messed up bad. You messed up so bad, like 3-4 times, right? So you're gonna need a little luck and a lot of athleticism to get out of here. So I'm securing his arms. I wanna take him to the side. I don't wanna over-roll. I just wanna kinda drop to the side here, okay? When I get to this position, Jorge's gonna try to keep his head right next to mine. He knows I wanna get my head to the ground. So he's gonna put it right there. So I need to use this hand to move his head out of the way, just briefly. But if I do that, and I let go of his wrist, I'm getting choked right now. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm getting choked. This is not enough to prevent this choke, the angle. So, as I move this hand out to push his face out of the way, this one needs to slip down and get to what we call like the head of the snake, right? I need to control some sort of wrist or hand, all right? So, whether it's here, I'm gonna control his hands so that they can't drift up and start choking. So, this one goes from the forearm to as high up on the wrist or the hand that you can get. This hand, I'm gonna push on his face, and I'm just gonna try to dig my head, and get it to the ground. Once I get to the ground, I'm safe. Go ahead and choke me. He can maybe choke me if I'm facing forward, but give me a real choke. All I have to do is just turn to the side a little bit. Turn and try to face him, there's no choke on this. As long as his head's back there. The mechanics does not work for him if his head's not on my side, okay? So, I'm here, I don't have to worry about the choke for a little bit, okay? That means I can use both hands in escaping his legs. So what I want to do first, I want to keep my legs bridged, my hips bridged, because Jorge really wants to bring me back to that side, right? So if I'm laying here flat, he can easily just roll me back and get back to the same position that we were at before. So when I'm here, I want to keep my hips up high. Go ahead and try to bridge me. Yeah, that's not going to happen, okay? So I want to turn to get my knees facing upward, and I'm gonna use my hands to escape out into probably this position where we're kind of in like a half guard situation here, okay? From here, he's gonna try to get on top. I'm gonna try to prevent that by controlling this leg, because if he can't put this foot on the ground, he's gonna have a hard time bridging to get up on top of me, okay? So this gives me a lot of good leverage, a lot of good control over him. I want to get on top. If I don't get on top, that's okay. Get ready to play defense, all right? Because that's a hell of a lot better than where you're at 20 seconds ago.